What's up, boys? Welcome back to the Big and Stuff podcast. I am your host, Greg, joined as always by
Logan, Sandy.
As usual, today we're going to be getting into a few topics. New chapter of Chainsaw Man just came out. Saw that new super...
I'm here, dude.
What?
What is this? I thought we were recording today, dude. What's going on?
It's not quite what it looks like.
You can keep Isaiah.
You didn't tell him he was off the show?
Who is that?
Ready to roll.
We're rocking and we're rolling and we're keeping on moving, dude.
We're absolutely banged out today.
Banged out today.
I
don't know what you guys were doing before you got here.
Banging.
Banging, bro, obviously. What else would we be doing on a Sunday afternoon?
I don't know, that's why I asked.
Big banger game.
Big banger game.
Is this the intro?
This is the intro. This is the intro.
Okay, we got Logan. He's here.
For real.
I guess we're not kicking him out. He's not being replaced, unfortunately. We'll get him next time.
One of these days I won't be here. It'll just be Isaiah and Greg, and we'll just be gone forever.
Perfect. I'm keeping your name, though.
That's fine. We just call you Logan.
Just forever.
No one will know.
Alrighty, lads.
Let's get this party started.
So, before we were rudely interrupted,
Yeah, by me.
what do we have coming up?
Well, I think we should actually start with She-Hulk. That just came out.
That works for me, bro. I like
Episode 1 of She-Hulk just dropped. I'm going to say I liked it a lot. What did you guys think of it?
I also liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty solid.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Okay.
It was
Alright,
okay.
fair enough.
There's a little bit more to be desired.
It was such a...
What did you desire out of it? Out of an episode 1?
Just, I mean, and it's probably like the point of it, but it felt like it was just really skipping right through her getting her powers. And it is kind of the tone that it's going through is like, oh, here she is, she's got powers. Let's move on to the next thing is what I'm assuming they're going for. But I didn't like that.
I think there's a kind of a weird shift in superhero movies and shows lately where people do not really like origin stories, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, people, I guess, have seen Spider-Man's origin and Batman's origin, and they've seen the origin story movies so much, and the more characters they introduce to the universe, the more origin stories you're gonna have to have.
Yeah.
And I think just generally there's been a shift away from wanting to tell origin stories, because people are, I mean, you've already seen a billion superhero origin stories, so
It's true.
I think people are just kind of
ready to get to the action.
yeah, ready to skip past some of that stuff. She gets Hulk blood in her blood, and now she's a Hulk, and we're good to go. Yeah. I think they wanted to just get into what the meat of the show was.
They just wanted to jump into it, but I just wanted it to take a little bit longer.
Okay.
And I mean, she's really mean to Bruce.
She's mean to Bruce.
I was really mean to Bruce. It kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably most of what I didn't like.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day. I think I sent it to you guys, where it was like the scene where she's telling him how much harder it is for her. She gets catcalled and like how she has to suppress her anger all the time. She's like, I do it way more than you. And the meme was just like, my father beat my mother to death.
Yeah, and it's not like he was, hunted down by the government and he went through all his trauma to get to where
I gotta say, I'm proud of Bruce for keeping his cool. He didn't get mad at all.
No kidding.
He seemed until she started swinging at him. He didn't really seem like he was going to be
doing it.
He wasn't getting angry about it. Even when they were fighting, he didn't seem all that angry. So
no, he wasn't really.
He's got it. He's got it unlocked.
Yeah,
he was kind of maybe even taking it easy on her, just kind of toying with her a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think of the fact that she does not have the second personality? I mean, I know it's like that in the comics, but she's just her as the Hulk. Is having a crazy Hulk personality unique to Bruce, or because there's other Hulks? There's like Amadeus Cho,
right?
And like General Ross becomes Red Hulk,
right?
Do they have that second personality, or is it most people just get strong from the Gamma, and he just specifically is like got the ID or something like that?
So I think
probably depends on the comic, honestly.
Well, I know Amadeus Cho does not have a second personality, but I don't know about Red Hulk. I'm not sure.
How about Abomination?
I don't know about that either.
Well, because recently we've seen Abomination seems very much in control.
Yeah.
And I think he was probably in control in the first movie, too. He's just a dick.
Right.
Exactly.
So he's rampaging because he's an asshole. He's not rampaging because he's lost his mind.
Yeah.
Right, like right away in his introduction, he was able to talk. I mean, albeit like a monster, but he had more control than Banner did, at least.
Yeah, I think it is unique to Bruce because he's got like the Hulk personality. I think existed in him before the Gamma accident.
Yeah,
and then when he got the Hulk form, that personality just got attributed to his Hulk form.
Right.
Just kind of
Similar situation to like Moon Knight of how he's got like multiple personalities.
Yeah.
That is my understanding. I haven't read the Hulk's origin, so
I always thought.
Did you read? You read Immortal Hulk, right? Wasn't that kind of like a retcon of his origin?
Yes, but I didn't get that far.
Gotcha.
To like how they explained what was going on.
I heard that run was really good. I would like to check it out.
I think I read like 25 episodes, issues, and it was really good. I liked it a lot, but I just kind of fell off because buying comics is very expensive.
It do be like that, yeah. Buying comics is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's just so many of them. That's what I like about manga, is that you just buy the series and it's just the series. You start with volume 1 and you go up to however many volumes it is and that's it.
Yeah.
With comics, it's like you got
a million things.
You got so many things you have to buy. You have to keep up with it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
true. He has a beautiful friend that has a bunch of comics, but if you're trying to buy them, like you can see, I don't know if it shows up on camera, but you can see my Green Lantern collection right there.
Yeah, back behind there.
I had like a spreadsheet on my phone of like what issues I needed to buy next and like
got the same thing
how to not buy twice, because sometimes there will be like issues that appear in multiple trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
It's so complicated collecting comics. And also you got to keep track of other series that the character you're following happens to appear in. So if there's ever like a Justice League event happening in the middle of a Green Lantern run, then I got to read that too, so that I know what's going on with Hal Jordan. It's ridiculous.
It's a pain in the ass.
And also there's like 5 different Green Lantern series running parallel. There's Green Lantern, and then there's like Green Lantern Corps, and then there's like the Guardians of Light or whatever that one is called. It's got Kyle Rayner.
There's one with the lady Green Lantern. I can't remember her name.
Jessica Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Simon Baz has I think he's in Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
Or no, Corps is Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner, right?
Yes.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, and then Guy Gardner at one point was Red Lantern.
Oh yeah, he did have that phase for. Anyway, we're talking about She-Hulk right now.
It's kind of odd that we switched from Marvel to DC. That doesn't happen very often.
It's usually the other way around.
Yeah. Greener on the other side, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Hulk though, and how well he's able to control his anger and the the kind of lid that he seems to have on it.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors that we may be getting a kind of World War Hulk storyline in the future, which is that Sakaran ship that comes down and causes their car crash.
Right.
I mean, Sakaar is heavily involved in the World War Hulk storyline, so do you think this will end up leading into maybe Banner losing control of his second personality and the fully crazy mode Hulk coming back?
Like,
because I think a lot of people,
Hulk almost?
like World Breaker Hulk, World War Hulk type Hulk.
That would be pretty sick.
Because I think a lot of people are not a huge fan of the Smart Hulk thing, which I'm okay with it because I figure it is a temporary thing, and it's just, I mean, that's a thing in the comics, so it's cool to see,
right?
For a time to have the Smart Hulk.
He's always reverting back to just being Hulk, at some point.
So I don't mind the Smart Hulk thing, and I think it adds kind of a fun new layer to his character. But I, like a lot of people, would like to see Hulk really get some respect put on his name, because I do definitely feel like he's been majorly sidelined in the MCU so far. And I did enjoy his presence in this. I thought he was kind of a fun, like, mentor role. I liked how it seemed like he was excited that she got her powers so he could, like, help her through it. But he was very disappointed when she didn't really need his help.
Right.
Kind of felt bad for him.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what this means for his character progression.
Yeah.
Because he really has felt like, because of the Universal thing where he's not allowed to have solo movies, he's just always doing a cameo in somebody else's movie. So it really feels like he's, of the original Avengers, he should be one of the big ones up there with Captain America and Iron Man and Thor. Yeah. But oftentimes he's treated as if he were on the tier of like a Black Widow or a Hawkeye.
Right.
Which is unfortunate because he's one of the main Avengers. He's one of the big heroes.
I did see that Disney might be getting the rights back to Hulk, or at least being able to make full-fledged movies for him.
Oh yeah, I did see that too.
Yeah, which would be cool, and that would definitely be a cool opportunity to do like a World War Hulk situation.
You thinking that might be one of the slots in Phase 6 that's missing? We have a little bit of a World War Hulk situation?
I hope so.
Could be. I mean, it also they could just be like, we'll do it after. Just keep going. Just keep pushing him back.
Well, who knows how long Mark Ruffalo wants to stay in the MCU.
Right.
Also.
He has talked about how Secret Wars is going to be bananas, so we know he's at least going to be involved as far as the end of Phase 6.
Hell
so
yeah.
that'll be cool to see.
So
and then I think whenever he does want to phase out, we've got a replacement Hulk waiting in the wings with She-Hulk,
Right,
so
yeah.
we're going to be good to go. Which apparently she's going to be involved in Secret Wars too.
Might as
Well, I also saw that ship coming down might be them bringing a message about him having a son on the planet.
Scar.
Whoa, like the Hulk was getting on with somebody on Sakaar?
Yeah, dead ass, bro.
With who?
I don't know, but
Could be anyone.
that is a thing in the comic books. He has a son that he had on Sakaar.
This is news
Scar.
to me.
Scar
Are you
on
serious?
Scar.
You didn't know about that? Oh, shoot. Yeah,
I'm just having trouble picturing the
dude.
Hulk.
smashing.
Who's doing that with him?
I couldn't tell you, dude.
Tough lady, I guess.
Yeah, it must be.
I think in the grand scheme of comics, everybody's kind of been with everybody at some point. So why not do whatever?
Bruh, you've seen the boys. They're sleeping around for sure, dude.
That's the boys. That's the whole point of it. Is that it's
Also,
it's overly horny and gritty.
Hulk is he's visceral, he's animal-like, he's all instinct.
He wants to plow, dude.
All right, I guess the Hulk fucks. I wasn't aware of this.
Captain America fucks, so does the
Yeah,
Hulk.
like, I don't know. It's just weird because Captain America's a person, so that doesn't seem weird to me. The Hulk is just like a monster.
No,
So
he's
I'm
a
like,
person too. He has feelings. His feelings are
He does
anger,
Yeah.
and he's horny.
I wasn't aware of that facet of his personality. I thought it was just the anger thing. Well, all right. I guess I know that now.
That explains why Natasha was able to give him a little
Oh,
lullaby.
yeah, bro.
It's the only other way.
I assume that was just Banner's personality coming through.
They're
but-
smashing, bro.
No, that's
Everybody's
dumb.
smashing.
That's really dumb. It's not-
Okay, well, that remains to be seen. I assumed it was the Sakarans being pissed at him for
I mean, that could be it too, but I'm just saying
what happened in
that
Ragnarok.
it would be cooler if it was.
I read something online of people talking about it might be the Grandmaster, like they want to overthrow the Grandmaster, and so they're trying to get the Hulk's help for that.
That would be sick.
when you say you read something online, is that like just whatever media, like maybe iFunny, TikTok, Instagram, or is there like an actual article you read?
Okay, so depends. I have this thing on like Google. Whenever I open Google, they give me a bunch of different articles.
So it could be as simple as comicbook.com.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I haven't seen that, so I'm wondering where the hell you got this.
Yes, but also sometimes Instagram.
Okay.
I deleted iFunny because it's an absolute cesspool that I don't like being on.
Yeah.
But
I don't have it either. But
yeah, Instagram I do get a lot of comic book news from, and a lot of it is bullshit that is absolutely stupid. But so you never know with Marvel theories. Sometimes they're
Sometimes they're spot on. Sometimes they're fucking way.
well, I like that you're bringing them to me because,
Yeah.
like I said, like that's why I asked. I didn't get that shit. I'm like, where is he getting?
You gotta
pulling
get
it right
on
out of his ass.
You gotta get on the Instagram group chat a little bit more. We both do.
yeah,
Really
both of you
keep
guys
my
are
mouth shut
sending
on
all
that.
kinds of stuff to that group chat, and Logan's like, there's 20 messages here. I don't feel like opening them. I'll open them later, and then they just keep building up and building up.
Piling.
So nowadays, if I want you guys to actually see something, I just send it to both of you individually instead of putting it in the group chat that you're both in.
That's the best way to do it.
But I'm like, what's the point of the group chat? Just I'm sending it to both of you anyway. But that's how it works now. If I actually care that you see something, I just individually send it to both of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the comedy in this? Because MCU comedy is a pretty divisive thing, and I said all the way back as far as episode 1 of this podcast, that I tend to enjoy Marvel's comedy. I know a lot of people find it cringy and basic, but
It's also comic.
I don't know.
comedy.
It's just like kind of a baseline, generally entertaining to everybody style of comedy, which, it's not like Dave Chappelle or whatever, but it's not terrible either. It's just, it's just kind of having a fun time with some Marvel comic book characters, and I don't mind it. And specifically in this series, I thought the comedy worked really well.
I do too.
The part where Hulk finds out that she doesn't have the second personality and just says, bruh. That's the kind of writing that usually if I saw it on paper, I'd be like, the Hulk says bruh. I'd be like, that's so dumb. This was written by somebody who is just trying to be with the times, but doesn't use slang like that. For whatever reason, it worked really well for me. I thought it was hilarious in execution. Just him going, bruh.
It took me out just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. With that one in particular. The rest of it, though, I really did enjoy.
Yeah, some of the setup I feel was a little bit predictable. Like as soon as She-Hulk or Jennifer, I guess, goes into that biker bar. As soon as she went in there, I was like, they're guaranteed to have a scene where somebody catcalls her and she gets mad about it. And then that's how the Hulk comes out.
Every time.
And I just knew that scene was going to happen as soon as I saw that bar. I was like, okay, that's where we're going with this. Which that's not bad, but it's very predictable.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I feel like there's more unique ways you could have showcased that. And I don't mind the whole idea of like women having, some kind of an anger within them and like representing that as far as like just towards societal issues as a whole, and like having a female Hulk character kind of exemplify that just representation wise. I don't have an issue with it.
Right.
I just wish it was portrayed a little bit less stereotypically of like, I'm going to go to a biker bar and
then I'm going to get catcalled in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's just like I don't necessarily always love when as soon as the scene starts, I'm like, okay, this is exactly how the scene's going to play out. Although I did think it was funny, those ladies that come to her in the bathroom and start that was pretty funny.
I don't need makeup on my own.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so that was a little whack. But generally speaking, I did enjoy most of the comedy. Yeah.
I have a similar feeling with like you were talking about the biker bar scenes. Bullies who are extra bully to be bullying.
Yeah.
Oh, any movie that takes place in high school?
Yeah.
They get me
I
so
don't know.
bad. I cannot watch them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It takes
like,
me right out of it. There's no point to that.
Yeah.
No, we were all larger. We're larger fellows.
We were huge.
We are big and stuff.
We were huge.
And in high school, especially when we were playing football and stuff, we were in pretty good shape too. So maybe we just weren't the target of bullying like that.
Yeah.
We weren't the tiny little small kids that would get picked on in those types of ways. I mean, there's other kinds of bullying, especially if you're not super popular, but like I'm talking like intense physical bullying was just never going to be an issue, I think, for us.
Yeah.
But when you see on TV, like high school, like bullies or whatever, and they're just going in and absolutely ruthlessly beating the ever-loving fuck out of some kid in the middle of the hallway.
Yeah.
And I see stuff like that. Maybe it's just because we didn't have any experience with it, but I don't feel like that's a real thing. That seems like that's way too much to be a real thing.
I think also our generation, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think back then it definitely was probably closer to what was going on. But to see it in our age and our now, it's not believable that it still happens the way it happens.
Yeah, or even not even physical violence, but just like the
cyberbullying.
Or just turn off your computer, you're fine.
Yeah, fuck.
But I don't know, like you saw the first couple episodes of Stranger Things. You started watching the scene. Did you get to the scene in the classroom where Eleven's giving her project about Hopper?
I did.
You get to that scene?
Oh, that one hurt.
Oh, see, and that's exactly
that's
what
the type of
those get to me. I just saw the roller rink one.
Yeah, the bit where they're in the roller rink.
And I'm like, that is does so
anybody
much
that cartoonishly evil?
There's so much effort into making Elle, or Jane as they call her, look like a fool. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of...
I think in real life, bullying is more of like an exclusion.
Yeah.
Like, at least in present day. Obviously, that took place in the 80s. Maybe it was different. But I think more of the bullying nowadays is like, it's like exclusion. Like if you're not one of us, you're not part of our group, people not talking to you, things like that is what I think people feel bullied. But I don't think there's anybody going out of their way to just eviscerate you in the middle of the classroom, or like go up to you in the roller rink and just start roasting the hell out of you for no reason.
It's like personal. It's such a personal level that you gotta wonder, like, what would Jane have done to piss her off? Like, we didn't get to see that.
Yeah. So some other little tangent. Let me steer us back into She-Hulk.
No. So, what do you think of Stranger Things?
I like it so far.
I liked I liked the scene in the little bar where they're talking about how Tony helped him build it, and they had their initials carved into the bench.
Yeah.
And then they break it, but they rebuilt it, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
But thought that was pretty nice little moment. Just damn.
It was nice. It was nice.
Good old Tony Stark.
Rest in peace. Guy. Rest in peace.
Honestly.
Maybe he'll come back someday.
What did you guys think of the CGI?
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about that, because,
Hulk's looked better than Jennifer's.
I don't know. I feel like the color of the Hulk was kind of weird, but maybe it's because he's getting older and he's getting, less, green.
It might also just be that kind of classic Marvel color grading where everything's a little bit gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything looks a little bit washed out. I feel like that's one of the biggest problems with the MCU is their colors are not as vibrant as I'd like them to be. Some movies are better than others. Like I think the colors in Thor. Thor: Love and Thunder were really
and
vibrant.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy too. But a lot of the especially Earth-based stuff, like looking into the Captain America movies, and those movies are gray as hell. Gray. So that is kind of just a consistent Marvel issue, is their color grading tends to not be as vibrant as I'd like it to be, which is maybe causing what you're thinking. Yeah. But I'm talking like just the uncanny valleyness of it. Did that feel bad to you, or was it acceptable? Or even really good? Like, what did you think?
I'm kind of like in the middle. It looked like almost like they made Mark Ruffalo and Jennifer Walter, or what's her name?
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, it looked like they made their face a little bigger and then made it green. I don't know. And I don't know how to describe it.
I think that's weird.
It's kind of the point.
I know, but like I'm thinking back to like Thor Ragnarok, and I liked him in Thor Ragnarok. I think a little.
I think the Hulk looks different now because he's actually Bruce Banner as the Hulk, and maybe Jennifer Walters is also just her as the Hulk,
smart.
Which is why
he's
doesn't
smart
look
Hulk.
different. Yeah, smart Hulk. Even if you look in Endgame,
that was really funny.
Smart Hulk.
Yeah. TM. But even if you look in Endgame, the smart Hulk in that looks noticeably much more like Banner than he did in Ragnarok or in Infinity War. I think the Hulk looks different depending on who's in control. Because the pure Hulk personality definitely does look different.
So maybe if
they go forward with a
Planet Hulk where he turns back,
I think he would go back to the more monstrous looking Hulk as opposed to the more Banner looking Hulk.
Then I would be okay with how he looks in the show.
That would be clever too. That'd be a clever way to kind of, and maybe it is
Kind of
on
make a
purpose, maybe it
distinction.
isn't. They could just own it. Maybe they steal the idea from this very podcast.
Maybe. I think it's just, because he's talking and emoting like a normal person as Smart Hulk, they probably wanted the facial capture to be more close to Mark Ruffalo's face so that the performance comes across more accurately. Just imagine why they did that. But I guess my question is more just the quality of the CGI. Did it look...
It looked like TV show quality as opposed to movie, I'll say that.
I think it was a little bit better than just like a CW type show or something.
Everything's better than CW.
It's definitely better. I think there's a distinction between network TV quality and streaming TV quality.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely streaming TV quality because it's, for whatever reason, network shows, I guess they just don't have as much of a budget.
Yeah.
But their CGI tends to be a lot worse. Like you said, if you look at anything on the CW or on ABC or something like that, it's just not as good.
Right.
Does anybody watch network TV anymore? Is that a thing? Like, it's just old people? Like, I don't know anybody who has, like, cable.
My aunts have cable, but they're goofballs.
Yeah, I'm aware. He told stories about that.
Yeah, they're goofballs over there.
What do you think of She-Hulk being a whopping 6'7"?
I'm
not very tall.
I know, isn't that hilarious?
Not very tall.
Like, she gets massive, and it looks like she grows substantially. But
she's probably...
I saw that on Disney Plus.
You just feel
she's
like
6'7". I thought she was like 7'2" or something. Like I thought she would be a lot
that's kind of what I thought too.
She looks taller on camera.
Yeah.
I guess you only ever see me.
Stand up for her really quick.
They're not going to be able to see me.
I just want to see.
I'm 6'9". If you
69.
probably did not know, because I'm always sitting down. But
that doesn't seem very intimidating now that I can picture she's 2 inches.
I mean, she's also pretty buff.
About as buff as Greg.
Well, she's also a lot stronger than Greg.
You don't know that.
Greg's like, no chance. I got her beat.
No, dude. She's definitely stronger than me.
And I'm 6 foot tall. I'm the shortest of
you
the
are
big
a little
stuff.
Tiny baby.
And I have been the shortest for a while, which is funny because I go to any other place almost in my circle. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think if you saw her in real life, if you saw a 6'7" green lady who's 7 inches taller than you walk up to you, I think that would be much more intimidating to be in the presence of in real life than it would be just seeing her on
Only
screen.
Maybe. And I think it would be the skin color that would be
the green part would be the green part.
Okay, but like, I'm not scared of nothing.
Well, no, because like even Victoria's mom is like 6'5". Dana's taller than Logan.
Yeah, but she's really skinny.
She is. So maybe a little bit of the size would do, but like, I don't know. I'm not really that intimidated by Greg's size even, so I don't know.
Well, maybe you're just desensitized to very tall people because you spend a lot of time around these tall people.
Ruined I remember always being told, "You're so tall. You're so tall." My brother grew taller than me, only 6'2". Still, he's the
Still
tallest,
taller than
he's
you.
the tallest in our entire bloodline.
Yep.
My 15-year-old
everybody's
brother
like,
is
wow.
taller than your tallest warrior.
Yeah. Basically, so I'm like desensitized, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody, even in rugby, I play rugby.
Yeah.
Rugby, the players will be like, there's a few guys my size or bigger, and it's like, they're like, those guys are massive. And I'm just thinking to myself,
I used to be the tallest one.
my friends are all taller, but they're also pig pussies.
Oh my! Well, we don't play rugby, so I guess you got us on that
Very
one.
true. Very
That's
smart.
true. Don't do it.
I definitely don't.
I did start to play rugby. I went to practice for like 2 weeks, and then I was like, this is kind of hard. I'm gonna quit.
Good choice.
So you're absolutely correct. Yeah, big pussy.
And I never even tried. So
Don't bother. You guys are fine. Just the way you are.
we're great, dude. We're great.
Excellent.
To bring it back to She-Hulk for just one other quick second.
Yeah, this is gonna be the whole episode. Is other stuff She-Hulk, other stuff She-Hulk.
When Bruce did his big clap,
That was
and
so cool to
she
see.
started doing her little
Yeah,
tiny
yeah.
clap. That was pretty sick.
That was cool. Like leveraging. First of all, we haven't seen Hulk do that move since 2008. Which
That's
that's cool.
I did not realize
Wasn't even
that.
the same actor.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't.
know.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, it was.
No, Mark.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Edward Norton in the first
Right,
Hulk
yeah.
movie.
Oh shit! I forget
It's
about
even the
that.
same guy.
I think having the Hulk have been recast from his original movie makes it feel even less like we got Hulk representation because his one
Yeah.
solo movie isn't even the same actor as
Right.
in the rest of the series.
But it still takes place. Yeah, that's weird. It's whack. That's whack.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's canon. It's MCU.
Right,
It's canonically the same version of the Hulk. It just doesn't feel like it because it's a different actor.
Mhm.
And also, that movie has a very different tone than a lot of the MCU does because it was
Yeah.
kind of before they fully had their formula set up.
Right.
Do you think they'll bring back Balls? What's her name? Hulk's girlfriend in.
No,
Betty?
doubt it.
Is it Betty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
Hulkbuster is Veronica. So.
Yeah.
Veronica.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think she'll come back?
I don't know. If they do a Hulk solo movie, potentially.
Oh, I
would
don't think so.
I would like to see her come back just in general. They brought her back a little bit for the What If series.
Yeah, she was in the What If
True.
series.
Yeah. True.
So-
Also,
Why not?
we've seen characters come back seemingly out of nowhere that you thought were gone
Yeah.
forever. I mean, they'll even bring back little super minor characters like the guy that, that gets yelled at in Iron Man ends up being part of Mysterio's team in, in Far From Home.
Classic.
So they're not totally opposed to doing that, and that is a major character to the Hulk. You know, like that's his main love interest, and we haven't seen her since 2008.
True.
Which I think if we get a solo Hulk movie, there's a decent chance she could come back for it. But
Yeah.
without any solo movies for him,
There's no
I
chance
don't
she's
see
coming
that
back.
happening. Is that official? What you were talking about earlier about them getting the rights back potentially from Universal, or is that just a rumor right now?
I think it's just a rumor right now. But
I would like to see them get.
days ago,
I would like to see them get the rights back. I would also like to see them get Spider-Man back from Sony because they're allowed to use Spider-Man, but oh my god, what is Sony doing with their universe? It's so
Big
dumb.
dummy heads.
Like they want so badly to be part of the MCU, and Marvel's just like, you could be a universe in the multiverse, but like we don't want to cross over too much. And the post-credit scene in Morbius just made things 10 times more confusing because how the hell did the Vulture get there?
I think you're gonna actually team up.
It doesn't make any. He just comes at him out of nowhere, and then Venom, like.
Who knows what's going on?
He shows up in the MCU for a couple minutes, gets drunk, and then goes home, but then he leaves behind a piece of himself. And it's like, why does the spell not send back all of him? Why did it let him leave a little piece?
Yeah.
It's just very strange and confusing, and I think it just messes with continuity in a way that is kind of dumb. Although I did hear rumors, this is unverified, that they may be doing a Venom versus the Amazing Spider-Man movie.
I saw rumors about that.
I don't know how,
I'm not gonna hold my
how
breath.
true that is.
Yeah.
If that does become a thing and we get Tom Hardy's Venom versus Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, that would be really, really cool. I would dig that.
I hope for that so much that I'm actually gonna cast it out of my mind
Yeah, just
empty it out.
because it's
Forget
better
about it.
that
Don't
it
get too
doesn't
hyped.
even exist. It's too cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
We'll
be
see.
very
We'll see. But I have heard several rumors of people talking about that potentially being a thing, which I think could be really cool.
It would be sick. I'd be okay with that.
Oh, we got potential cameos. Did we want to end on
Yeah,
that?
because I heard there's a lot of. I've heard there's a lot of cameos from various random Marvel characters going to be in this. Obviously, Daredevil is one of them, which is very exciting.
Not
I'm curious to
Spider-Man.
see. Yeah, well, they were not allowed to use Spider-Man. That's another reason I want them back from Sony.
I'd like to
He
see.
would have shown up, I bet, if they had the rights. I bet he would have shown up.
Probably.
That would be sweet.
It's just annoying having characters be like, oh, you're part of the universe, but you only conditionally you
Yeah.
only be in certain projects, and it's like it just makes it hard to have have it feel cohesive. Yeah.
Mm.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I would like to see Daredevil come back in more of a capacity of Matt Murdock, as far as doing some lawyering stuff.
He might. This is a lawyer-oriented show, so I think it's entirely possible that we see more of Matt just lawyering it up. But also, I would love to see some Daredevil action.
Yeah, but like very brief for my preference, because save that for his show.
Yes. When is that coming out?
I have no idea.
Next year?
No, I think
2
2
years from
years.
now?
I think 2 years.
I think they're shooting it next year.
With what, 23, 24 episodes?
18
episodes.
But
that's still a lot more than we
obscene
usually
amount
get.
of episodes.
How many is She-Hulk going to be? Is it going to be another 6er?
I think so. Or
6 or 8.
Dude, we got the computer right
It's
now.
half-hour episodes, so they might be...
I'm thinking it might be
go
8.
for a longer
It was
series.
37 minutes was the last episode.
Yeah, that's a
Which
little
does
shorter.
have an end credit scene. Make sure
Worth sticking around for. That was fun.
Absolutely.
Make
Let's
sure you
stick it
watch
around.
that. Apparently there's going to be more of
9
those.
episodes.
Wow, that's pretty sick.
Okay, I'm down for 9 episodes.
This is
Just hanging
according
out
this is
shorter.
according to Men's Health.
Looks that way, yeah. They got the scoop.
You gotta love Men's Health, bro.
So something kind of random that was that has been annoying to me when it was oh my gosh, I can't talk. I'm stumbling over myself. Something that has been annoying to me. Something that has been annoying to me as I've been looking up and researching news and theories and things about She-Hulk is the fact that the main actress who plays Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, her name is Tatiana, and the main villain of this series is a character named Titania.
seriously?
Yes. And so every time I start reading an article, I always pick the wrong pronunciation to start out with. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, I have to reread that. It's the other way. Because I'm like, are they talking about Tatiana or are they talking about Titania? And so I always start out reading it, whatever. It's like plugging in a USB. You always got to do it wrong first. And then sick. It's, so that's been annoying of like, oh, is it Titania or are we talking about Tatiana? I gotta reread it.
I don't even know who that is.
She's the lady that comes in at the end of the episode in the courtroom and starts busting stuff up, and She-Hulk has to fight.
Right, but like I don't know.
Oh, you don't know who she is, like from the comics? Yeah, I don't either. Apparently, she's fairly prominent in some event, Secret Wars, maybe. I think they're in the comic book version. She does something.
Maybe you should just read Secret Wars.
I should.
Which Secret Wars? The 2016?
I don't know. I think maybe the original one.
Come on. Oh, well, I haven't read that. So.
I've read Secret Wars 2, the sequel to the 80s one. That's one that nobody talks about. So there's Secret Wars, and then there's Secret Wars 2, and then there's the new Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I've read the second one, so
I read whatever Logan loaned me.
I have all of the Secret Wars 2. Actually, it's in that briefcase right over there.
Seriously?
Yeah, that briefcase is full of comic books.
Ominous. I gotta break out my comics one day just to see what I have.
I forget about what comics I have. I have like all of Fear itself.
Oh yeah.
You have all of Fear itself?
Yeah. I have the whole main series. I don't have like every like tie-in.
Right.
You know, but I have the whole event.
I have a few of those, and I have the a lot of Daredevil Fear itself.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got a lot of Spider-Man. Spider-Man is most of my collection. As far as individual comics, Green Lantern is most of my trade paperbacks.
Hell yeah.
As you can see. Yeah.
No,
Love
you can't
Green
be part of
Lantern.
that one.
I got you both
Dude,
on
you
the
don't
Green
even know.
Lantern.
You don't even know who he is.
He shoots arrows.
From the CW show.
Yeah,
My bad.
CW show. You're absolutely correct.
Made famous by the CW.
Made famous by the CW.
Yeah, the show Lantern.
Yes. That would be so goofy. A Green Lantern CW show would be so ass, I think.
Isn't the producer of the CW Arrowverse going to be doing the Green Lantern Corps show? Is that an HBO Max show?
Uh-huh.
I hope that's good.
I'm thinking it probably will be because it's going to be on HBO Max, so it'll probably have a bigger budget and it won't be like CW level. I'm hoping. But
Well, because
You need a big budget, but oh my god, I can't talk today. You need a big budget for Green
this
Lantern.
guy must have slept till like 2:30 or something.
Not 2:30. You guys got here at 2:30.
I've been up
I was
since
awake before that. Oof. I do be staying up late. So you need a big budget for Green Lantern. That's what I was trying to say. You guys threw me off. Because it's all in space and everything is special effects.
Yeah.
You
need a big budget.
Those arrows are really hard to put on.
Yeah, they really all those arrows.
They really are.
I think we covered everything She-Hulk wise, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
Twas
No.
good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd say pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Good.
give it a rating for the first episode, and then we'll wait until the series is over.
I think we need to give the whole series a rating. But
When is the last episode? Like, what is? I guess 8 weeks from now.
Fuck if I know, dude. What are you asking me?
2 months?
calendar.
Well, I'm just trying to see how close we'll be to Black Panther when this series ends.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, it'll be October. So we'll have about a
October
month.
12th.
We'll have about a month to Black Panther when
Yes.
this ends.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think of how soon October is. I feel like this summer really blasted by really quick.
It did. But fine by me, I hate this heat. Looking ready to be done.
Oh yeah, it's pretty warm. This summer I feel like it's been a little bit more mild than.
Well, you haven't been
it
working
is.
outside all summer.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
you're
still
sleeping
have to
with-
go outside every day. It's not like
for like a minute.
Yeah, but I still have I can tell what the temperature is. Like, look at the weather app on my phone. I know what.
I'm wearing fucking jeans and shit.
That
and
doesn't change
boots.
the fact that generally speaking, it hasn't been as
No,
hot.
you have no idea.
I do know.
No, you have no
yeah.
idea.
I'm
Lick my
absolutely-
nuts. Let's move on.
All right. Just because you're wearing
You
hotter
get in your
clothes than you should
air-conditioned
be.
truck.
Yeah, but not always, bro. I'm outside fucking hauling dirt and concrete around.
Just because you're wearing hotter clothes than makes sense to wear doesn't mean it's
Because
actually
I
hot
have
outside.
to wear that
I know
stuff,
you do.
so it
I'm
makes
just-
me hotter. So it is hot outside for me. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, sure. I'm talking about the general weather patterns across the country, generally in our part of the country.
You
It
have
was
no
hot.
idea. You have no opinion. You have no idea.
I do. I live here. I know what the weather is like.
But your opinion is different than mine. So I guess I can agree with you a
Okay.
little bit,
Okay,
but
let's
like
not-
it's still
Let's
fucking
get rid
hot
of
for me, bro.
words like hot and cold, and let's say the average temperature compared to last summer has
Yeah.
not been as high as the average.
Is that a true fact?
I'm pulling this out of my ass.
No, I'm saying, generally speaking, this year has been, I would say, a few degrees less than previous years in our part of the world.
And you're just basing this off of how you feel.
How you felt when you were outside?
No, I look at the temperature app on my phone. I can see what the weather is like.
And you
I can see what the
compared it to
degrees
last year?
Yeah, I know. I did the same thing last year, so I remember what it was.
You
like.
remember
just
these-
remember?
So
Not
what was the
specifically.
temperature this day last year?
Okay, shut the hell up. I'm just saying, we have not had as many days that are in the high 90s this year as we did last year.
High 90s or whatever. Even if it's 80 degrees, I'm still going outside and I have to wear jeans all day long. I'm still going to be fucking hot as hell. So for me, this summer has been hot.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't care if you are saying that it was cooler than last year. I'm saying I was still fucking
Okay,
hot.
yeah,
all
you can be
summer.
hot. That's not what I'm trying to say.
I feel like you're trying to put him down, Greg.
You are.
I'm
You're
not
trying
saying
to put
your
me
experience
down.
isn't valid. I'm just saying
That's
the
what it feels
temperature,
like.
numbers-wise, I think, and I just think
That
this
may
is not a
be.
true fact. This
That
is just
may be.
what I think. I think it
Yes.
has generally, we've had less very hot days,
Okay.
temperature-wise,
That may
on
be.
average.
That
That's
may
all I'm
be.
saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
That may be.
You can be as hot as you want to be.
I
That's all I'm
still was
saying.
hot. I'm ready for it to be fall.
Me too. We agree on that. I was just trying to say it hasn't been so bad as compared to some other summers that we've had.
I disagree.
bad for
I
me.
disagree. I agree with Logan. I'm also outside a lot more often than either of you.
Yeah. He's outside a lot more than even I am.
All right, we can move on.
Granted, only some days I wear jeans. Depends on
Yeah,
the job.
you are lucky. You don't have to wear jeans every day.
That's true. I wore a tank top the other day, and the client there, the homeowner, whatever, he was like, "Oh man, I almost didn't recognize you when you showed up because you weren't wearing the company shirt." And I was like,
Fuck.
That's your defining characteristic.
I was like, okay, but it's casual Friday, and he got a real kick out of it. But
Did
it was
he?
like I didn't realize it was that funny. It's just I can wear whatever I want.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't. Yeah, like you said,
I
that's
didn't
my defining
recognize.
characteristic.
Yeah,
That's the only
what
thing.
he recognizes.
That's
you
what
by,
sets me
your
apart
shirt.
from the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
Everyone else looks a lot like me.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they do. I bet they do.
Weird.
Okay.
Anyway, to sum it up, it was hot this summer.
Sure, it's hot. Yes. Okay, actually, you know what I think? You know what's skewing my perception a little bit?
Yeah.
Last summer, I did not have AC in my house.
Ooh,
That's
that'll
probably
do
what's
it.
making me think it was a lot hotter last summer.
Yeah.
Because I was living every day,
You were
sweating my
miserable.
balls off,
In
even though I wasn't doing anything.
non-air conditioned room.
Yeah. Also, I was living further south last summer than I was this summer.
Yeah, that area was really hot.
Mount Pleasant. where the Great Mount Pleasant resides.
Fuck that place.
The Great Pleasant Mountain.
The biggest mountain in Michigan.
There's no mountain. There's no mountain.
It's just a
It's ridiculous.
flat area.
Yeah. I think that also was not helping because there's no like breeze. We're like right on the water, so there's more of a breeze here.
Right.
But down there in the middle of the state, oof.
Nothing.
Yeah. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming off of no AC in the middle of the plains of very hot. So
Yeah.
we've been kind of going off and on about DC a little bit.
Yeah.
You gotta follow.
I want to hear. I want to hear your thoughts on Ezra Miller right now. Do you know
Yes.
about all that jazz that's going on with him?
I try to stay away from it.
Okay, so they were arrested in Vermont for burglary.
Yes.
Apparently, they broke into someone's house to
Yep.
steal beer or
Yes.
alcohol of some sort. I don't know what specifically kind of drink it was, but
Yeah.
they broke into somebody's house to steal alcohol. And I am correcting myself of the last time we covered Ezra Miller. I said he a lot. Apparently, it's they, them. That's the preferred pronoun there.
Yes.
Not trying to offend anybody. I just
Ezra
wasn't
Miller.
aware.
Ezra Miller's preferred pronoun is
They,
They,
them.
them.
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
See, this is exactly why
What?
I stay away from it. I don't want to deal with that. I would be always calling him he. I couldn't remember that. That would interrupt my speech pattern so often.
All right. I don't think it's
Isaiah's not with the time.
I guess not.
Not woke whatsoever.
The zeroist woke.
Okay, well, we're going to do our best from here on out to not fuck that
We
up.
will.
But if occasionally it slips through, we don't mean any harm by it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So, Warner Brothers,
yes.
I made these notes a little while back. They were apparently considering 3 options for The
Yep.
Flash. One was that the movie is scrapped entirely. One is that it's released, but Ezra has to issue an apology and commit to some kind of mental health thing to get better. And then they'll just not be in it as much. And then what was the third option? Like,
I think they go forward with the movie, but he doesn't do any press junket stuff. And like,
they just kind of downplay his involvement.
yeah.
Yeah. So they did do an apology, though.
Oh, he did.
Yes.
They
So
did.
I guess they're doing that route, and we'll
Gotcha.
still get the movie as is, and they'll just have to take care of whatever's going on with them mentally because it's been a lot of craziness.
Yeah.
Assaulting people in Hawaii, just attacking couples randomly, kidnapping a kid.
Yep. I heard about that.
A mom
They
and
were.
a kid, right?
Yeah. Well, they were staying with them, but they weren't. I don't know if it was against their will or if they were
I know,
had to be there.
I got
but it was
reading
definitely an
articles, but-
endangerment situation
Yeah.
at the very
Well, and
least.
like they had loaded guns in the house and stuff.
It was-
too.
it was-
yeah.
mixed.
Apparently, they were walking around with a bulletproof vest and carrying loaded firearms with them,
Yeah.
just going around
'Cause
and
they couldn't.
and breaking into people's houses and stuff like that.
so fucking nuts, dude.
That is that's not heroic behavior.
No.
Ezra, what are you doing?
Come on, man. What are you thinking?
I don't know. So, from that information, I don't know why they keep them around.
Yeah.
Well, I think
That seems like a pretty
Well, they've got
safe bet to just be like, I don't want them there at all.
this is a very expensive movie.
Yeah,
and it's
they've already
resetting-
filmed a lot of it, which we'll talk about Batgirl in a
Yeah.
second. But they've already filmed pretty much everything, and the Flash obviously is very heavily involved in this movie.
Because
So
there's
it's not like you can
three
edit them
versions
out.
of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you can edit the Flash out of the movie
Mhm.
because just 3 versions all played by Ezra Miller, and
Yeah.
it just plays a big role in the
Maybe
story.
they're
obviously.
just hoping that they turn out more like a Robert Downey situation, and they have some redemption that they can do.
I know.
well, I'm
it doesn't feel like it's going that way.
No, I don't think so either.
Post apology, there hasn't been anything else that has come out.
How
about
was his
insane
apology?
shit.
Because I
I
didn't see
didn't
that.
watch the video. I just read a statement. It
Mhm.
seemed pretty boilerplate, just like
like a standard.
my actions have
YouTube
been
level apology.
very irresponsible, and
Kind of like a Mel Gibson apology.
I've had a lot of mental health issues, and I'm seeing help for that now, and I promise to do better in the future and stuff like that.
Classic
It's pretty
stuff.
boilerplate, just what you would expect out of kind of a corporate apology, so that they can get the movie released.
Right. I'm gonna go.
But
get
what
some-
remains to be seen is how.
Sorry.
Well, they should release the movie.
Yes.
That I guess I didn't want them to ruin the movie
Mm-hmm.
coming out. I think going forward they shouldn't be
Probably just recast the Flash. It's kind of a Flashpoint situation. Maybe they can just do some kind of timeline shenanigans and bring in a new Flash actor.
There are too many actors out there, or aspiring actors, to stick with one that's really kind of...
Did it stop recording?
Did it really?
Yes.
That is freaking hilarious.
Jesus Christ.
It's you, dude.
It is you, Isaiah. What the heck?
Oh my god. We're going to be flicking in and out of...
Fuck, that is so...
Hopefully it hasn't been not recording for too long. How long is the recording?
We got about 44 minutes of audio.
I know.
I'm going to try and hang on to this thought here.
15 minutes? I don't even know why it stopped recording. It was plugged in. I had tons of free space. Literally should not.
So we got like half an hour. Should we just start over?
No, not the audio.
No, start over completely. The audio too.
We started to back up again. God, that's fucking dumb as hell. And
Wow.
it's not even showing me that I have like limited
storage or
space
something?
remaining.
That's so weird. Well, I guess make sure you plug it in again, but man,
What the fucking tits, dude?
Wow.
we should just leave this portion in and so people know what we're dealing with
God,
here.
damn.
This is our
it's
this is our
ridiculous.
public apology. We're sorry for
We're very
everything.
sorry.
We promise to do better in the future.
We haven't had an issue with it the last few episodes.
We have.
It's you. It's you.
It literally is Isaiah.
Well, I guess we're back. Hopefully, for a few minutes, you'll be able to see us.
Sorry for existing. I've looked into the camera many times now.
Every time you look at the camera, it just shuts it off.
That's what's doing it. It's scared of eye contact. So, what were you about to say? You said you'd hold on to the thought. What was it? did you do it?
Just gonna stare at it now. Don't
Okay,
turn
I
it
can
off.
see a little reflection back there. So
Yes.
I can see
Okay.
it.
Cool. So you can
I'll
check
keep an
that.
eye. I'll just keep an eye on it.
Okay.
What was I saying? Oh, there are too many aspiring actors or actors to be or actresses. I think actors covers actors and
Everybody,
actresses
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Or has been for a while.
Mhm.
So there are
An
too
actor
many.
is the person who acts. I think
Yes.
that's just
So there's
plain and simple.
too many out there to try and stick with the one that's going to keep giving you publicity issues.
Right.
Like, why not just recast? I mean, this movie in particular, where Greg and I were just saying as you walked out, I do believe that they should release that movie still, and
Mm-hmm.
they can't ruin it. They did, but they can't ruin
Right.
it for everybody else because there's a lot of other people involved in the production and all that.
Yeah.
So they need that money back. However, going forward,
Replace it.
just dump them.
Yeah, and I don't know if you could hear us while you're out there getting a drink, but we're
Vaguely.
talking about, because it's like a multiverse timeline stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
I think it would be pretty easy to just shoot a reshoot right at the end of this movie where something happens that gives them an excuse to recast the Flash.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be an issue. But
Or don't even
That being
recast
said-
the Flash. Just start a whole new. Just scrap everything DC and start
They
over.
could just start over after
Start
this
a whole new
movie,
continuity.
depending on how this movie ends.
their continuity has been
Even
rough.
if it ends where there's more to come,
Yeah.
F it. What do you need to keep it going for?
They did just say screw
Everything else.
Snyder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
honestly don't think completely restarting everything would be such a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like just start
Clean
over,
slate,
That's what
the
I
whole
think.
thing.
I think regardless
get a
of
plan ahead of time and just stick to that.
regardless of Ezra's involvement
Mhm.
and everything, they should just move on.
Yeah.
DC in general should just move on.
I don't think they'll do that.
Like whatever. They won't, and that's why they'll continue to just kind of suck big nuts. But
Compared to Marvel stuff.
just in general, you compare it to anything, they just suck big nuts.
I think it's mostly the continuity stuff and the world building and the cohesion of their universe. Because as we were
Everything
saying
you
a
like
couple episodes
in
ago, I think
comic.
it's on a per movie basis. Usually they've been trending upward. Like I've enjoyed a lot of the last few. I mean, there've been some rough ones, but mostly I've enjoyed on an individual movie basis the last few DC movies. Like
Yeah.
I thought the Suicide Squad was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I thought
Aquaman was good.
Aquaman was good. Shazam, the new Shazam looks like it's going to be solid, and so does
Yeah.
Black Adam. So I think on a per movie basis, they haven't been doing too bad, with the exception of like Wonder Woman 84 was the only one that was really bad.
Isaiah likes that movie.
Oh yeah, it's your favorite DC movie, right?
Yes.
So
No further comment.
yeah, sure. But that's the only one that
No
really,
need to explain.
if we're just looking at the individual movies, that's the only one I can think of in recent times that has actually been not that great.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything you can think of DC wise, I think the last few have been quite solid.
No, actually, I'd like to add on to the solid list of Peacemaker. I love Peacemaker.
yeah, Peacemaker was really good.
Peacemaker was awesome.
Albeit that wasn't a movie, but
Right.
it is a
Still.
DC and I loved that.
Yeah.
And I
It
think
is canon, so.
and Sandman is technically a DC product.
Sandman is
Yeah.
And I am a fan of the Sandman. Morpheus. It's morphin'
So we're going to talk about
It's morphin' time.
we're going to talk about Sandman a little bit more in a second because they have watched parts of it. I haven't seen any of it, but I'll let them talk about it.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say is that apparently the test screenings of Batgirl that were apparently so bad that they needed to scrap the movie, it scored the same audience rating as Black Adam did in its audience test. So what's going on there?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is attached to Black Adam. They can't scrap that movie, bro. There's no chance they're going to scrap it with him in it.
It
He's
might just
probably
be
put so much into it.
Well, my thing is not that the Rock's movie was in danger of scrapping. I'm saying probably the Batgirl was not actually bad enough to scrap. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they should have scrapped the Black Adam. I'm saying they shouldn't have scrapped the Batgirl.
Oh,
I'm saying because if they score the same,
you can't have Batgirl, we can't have Black Adam. Get rid of them both.
I'm just saying if Black Adam scored that level, and that's acceptable to them, then why did they cancel Batgirl? I'm not saying that Black Adam's going to be bad. I'm saying Batgirl probably would have been better than we're giving it credit for.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess. Damn, I don't know, man. Because I would like to watch the Batgirl movie, dude. I like Brendan Fraser.
Oh yeah, he was going to be the Firefly. That was going to be cool.
It almost feels like it would have been like a publicity stunt to get people to like watch it when they did. They can't release it though. Am I correct?
Well, if they're writing it off for tax purposes, then they cannot release it.
Yeah. So there's a chance
that remains to be seen if they're going to do that.
But if they don't go that route, it could be almost not coincidentally, more like conspiracy-wise.
Like cancel at the drum up press and then uncancel
to see how many people actually give a crap.
Right.
And then when people are like, give us the Batgirl movie, then they'll give it to us.
Right.
Yeah, that honestly is not a bad strategy on their part because I don't think too many people were all that hyped for it initially, but now that it's canceled, and if you give it to us now, people would be like, oh, we're getting something that we weren't going to get, and then people would be, I think, nicer to it.
Yeah. They might make a little bit more money.
Could be. It's a conspiracy theory strategy there.
That's what I'm thinking. That's how I'm feeling about the whole thing.
But if they do write it off for tax purposes, like they're talking about doing, then I guess legally they cannot release it in any way, and the only way we would ever see it is if somebody leaked it.
Which, once again, maybe
that's what happened with the Roger Cormack Fantastic Four movie. They made a Fantastic Four movie in like the 80s or something. And they made it, and then they scrapped it for tax purposes, and now they're not allowed to release it officially, but people have, since it's so old, they've gotten a hold of the footage, and people have been able to watch it. So, maybe in like 20, 30 years, somebody will find the footage and be able to watch it. I think the difference, though, is that in the 80s, they recorded stuff on film, so if somebody was able to get their hands on the film, then you could do it. But I think it's probably just going to be on a server in the backlot at Warner Brothers forever.
Yeah, probably.
And it would be harder to get a hold of that unless there's a hack or something.
Or I don't know. Maybe we need to make friends with somebody at Warner Brothers so we can get a hold of it. We can watch.
Yeah, let's just do that. I'm sure that's easy.
Just call up my buddy at Warner
some big time Hollywood connections.
I'd like to be part of the testing audience.
Yeah, how do you get to do that?
Sign up for it? I don't know.
I would volunteer.
I would love to do that.
Every movie, too. Any movie.
Yeah.
I'll be part of your test audience.
100%.
Yeah, we get to see a movie, especially if it ends up getting canceled. You're one of the only people in the world who got to see it.
Yeah.
Like, the people who saw Batgirl, they got to be feeling so lucky right now.
I bet. Yeah.
Just get rid of test audiences altogether. Give it to people who would make podcasts like this podcast, and just be like.
Well, I think a lot of test audiences are people within the media coverage. Like
like how they give streamers early access to certain games or game consoles.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the test audiences are people with a platform, and that's why you get so many tweets from blue checkmark people about Batgirl and how they saw it and what they liked about it.
Right.
I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
Blue checkmark?
Verified people on Twitter.
People on like Twitter and stuff.
Verified as like they're content creators?
No.
Essentially, like verified is like
this is the actual person. Like I could make an account.
So I'm not verified as me?
Okay, let me explain this. The only reason somebody would ever need to be verified is if they were a public figure who has a following and they need to be identified as not a fan account or like not a fake account.
Oh.
So if you have a blue check mark, typically that means you're somebody within the industry who has some level of clout.
Yeah.
I am clearly out of the loop, and also I don't know if that's recording.
It is. I still see the screen.
I am clearly out of the loop. quite a
Yeah,
bit.
so somebody who's verified on Twitter is somebody who has some level of a platform.
Oh, this is Twitter in
Yeah.
particular.
Well, and Instagram. I think Facebook.
A lot of
does
other
it
social
too.
media sites have this similar verification system, but
Just
Twitter
the
is what I was
stuff I
referring
don't
to.
use.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense then. That's why I don't know.
Well, it is on Instagram. So, like, if you follow.
I hardly ever use Instagram.
Okay. Oh, right. Obviously. So that makes sense.
All I see on there when I go on is like, I think I follow a dog hiking channel. I followed Jeep for a while, but then they
That'd
started.
be verified. That would be a verified.
It's not because it just ended up having like a bunch of. They just threw women in bikinis in front of Jeeps all the time, which I was
not
like,
a Jeep account.
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe it still is.
Let me just keep.
But now,
looking.
but then eventually, I was like, okay, that's clearly not them. So I
Look up Eddie Burback, bro. He's
don't even know
verified.
if I'm still going.
Yeah,
Eddie Munson.
Eddie Munson. He's. Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, chill
wow.
with that. Chill with that. So this
Blue
is the
check.
YouTuber. He's got the blue check mark next to
Oh,
his name.
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's what that means.
Do you like Eddie Munson? He's fucking sick. I like him a lot.
2 episodes in, I don't really care for him right now.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he doesn't really make too much of an impression, I think, until later in the show.
Yeah.
He's a cool character, though.
A very cool character.
He seems fine. I feel really bad for him. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's about to
Big
get
time.
blamed for murdering Chrissy.
Yeah.
who I also didn't really care for. It was awful to see her die,
Well,
but I was like,
that's
dang,
like the classic, I think that character existed just to die. It's
Oh,
not like
yeah,
you were
yeah.
meant to care about it that much.
you might as well
She's
kill
just the
somebody you know,
catalyst
though.
of the story.
I don't want anybody to die, bro.
They don't want to kill anybody except for Bob.
Good old Bob.
Oh, yeah, Bob.
Sam.
Samwise
Gamgee. The real MVP of Lord
You
of the
kill
Rings.
him, kill him, but Hopper's still alive.
Yeah, that was goofy mode.
Yeah, but Hopper's like a main character.
Oh, I know.
He's
I
got
was
fun.
I was happy to see he was.
Yeah.
I thought his little portion of the story was cool.
Yeah.
It gets better.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does start a little.
The whole
it's got
show
some-
I
gets,
figured-
gets
I did
better
figure
as
it was going
goes.
to. There's obviously more to it.
A lot
I mean,
more.
there's 8 episodes?
Mhm.
Is it 8?
I can't remember. It's a lot of hours.
It's a
Is what I
long-
noticed.
Yeah,
I did
the
not
last
know-
couple episodes are like an hour and a half each.
See, I
It's
did
10
not
episodes.
notice because I feel like in the beginning, I could be wrong. I'm probably not.
I think it
Never
was 7
wrong.
episodes for Volume 1, and then episode 8 and 9 came out like a month later. I think that's how it was released. So I think
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
9 episodes.
Well,
Episodes.
It's
Still
the
long.
length of the.
yeah, each
shows.
episode is
Each
an
episode's-
hour and a
yeah,
half.
but
I
in
think
the
last
past, their
episode was pretty close to
episodes-
2 hours.
In the past, their episodes were like 45
Yeah.
to maybe an hour if
Yeah.
you're
It
getting
sucks.
a big one.
It sucks binging that after work because you get home late, or you get to chill and sit down late, and then you can only watch like an episode.
I just watched through it on a weekend.
Well, that's
Jeez,
what I
Louise.
ended up doing. But if you watch it during the week, you can
See,
only watch
I
an
don't
episode or two.
do I don't do that kind of binging anymore.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
depending on the show, I did it with Sandman. I did it with Stranger Things. There was another show I did it with. Can't remember what it was, but there were a few shows
That
I
was
do.
before we started doing this every weekend.
Yeah.
This eats into my binging time quite a lot. Is getting this
Same.
set up. and
The
recording
last time
stuff.
I binged something was Attack on Titan.
Damn. So.
And that was because
January.
Victoria was out doing Victoria things.
Yeah,
and
classic.
so I had
Secret
nothing.
things.
Secret things.
We
So-
were hanging out a lot.
I
Victoria's
had
Secret.
Victoria's Secret. It's not really hers.
It's not really her secret.
No.
What?
Anyway.
Anyway,
That's what this bit is.
Anyway, I binged through that pretty freaking quickly.
yeah, you did.
And that was
Fucking good.
well, and it was short episodes. It felt great.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, and before then, not really a ton for a good chunk of time. A couple of years probably in between binging things.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember what I binged before that. I probably couldn't tell you.
It's probably-
I
sounds like it's been a
binged
while.
Breaking Bad. I want to say maybe like last spring or something. Not the spring of this year, but the spring of the year prior.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the last time I binged something before Stranger Things.
Why haven't we talked
Didn't
about?
you-
Breaking
Well, I watched a lot of anime, I guess.
I was
I
gonna
watched
say
of
you
anime.
watched a lot of anime. Like I binged Eva in January.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I
We
do
need-
be
we need to
binging
get-
anime a lot. I was thinking live action shows.
We need to get Logan on the Breaking Bad bandwagon.
Bro, I got so much.
Have you
shit
seen
to
Better
watch.
Call Saul? I've
saw
heard
the
nothing
first-
but great things about
It's
it.
great.
but
I
haven't
saw the
watched it.
first season because I
started-
watched it when it was kind of starting off. I don't know how many seasons there are now, but I would like to get back into it.
4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had only began to watch it, and it was good.
I started watching it right after I finished Breaking Bad. Like, I finished Breaking Bad and immediately jumped into Better Call Saul. I only got a few episodes in, though, and I kind of stopped because I was like...
Doesn't have to do with Breaking Bad,
well,
so
it
you don't
kind of
give a
does.
shit.
I mean, it's got a character from Breaking Bad and characters that do appear in Breaking Bad because it's like a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's like you're starting a whole thing over. Breaking Bad is like constantly mounting up and getting more intense and like reaching a crescendo. And by the end of the series, it's like so insane. And then to come off of that and just like start a story again from the beginning, it's like a lot slower. I guess it was just a hard transition to go right from this story building up to this one of the coolest finales I've seen in a show, all the way down to like,
fuck off, telling me this stuff now.
It's
bro.
true. Well, how long ago did I tell you guys to watch Breaking Bad though?
A long time ago.
A long time ago, because I
ago.
watched it back when the final season was still airing.
Yeah.
And that's how long ago I was telling people to watch Breaking Bad.
what was that, like 2013 or something?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
I was telling people to watch
time ago.
Breaking Bad, and I got nobody to.
I watched it,
Tons of
but I
it.
didn't
Now-
watch it because you told me to watch it. I
now
just
you
discovered it independently.
and now you know that it's. But now you know it's fantastic.
It's so good. Yeah.
And there's so much to it. I mean, dang, dude, the Fly episode was great. Even
Yeah.
a lot of people hated on
don't
that
like it.
one.
I thought it was
Yeah.
cool. It was like
Well,
a
I hate
bottle
on that
episode. It's like all in one location and just
well,
going
there's
insane.
symbolism with
Yeah.
Walt's guilt.
I really like the scene where he's
Yes, I
talking about like
agree.
what the perfect moment for him to die would have been. Of like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I really, really liked that scene where he's like, if I had died right after here, that would have been the perfect
would
time
have been
because my
great.
family would have gotten the money.
Life would have been fantastic.
But but now that I've survived past that point, it's just gotten more and more fucked, and I'm in a situation that I cannot get out of without being a monster. It's a good show. You should watch it.
Yeah.
I should watch a lot of
I know.
So when
It's amazing.
when Better Call Saul started up, that was quite a bit after that. Not quite a bit, but it was a bit after that. And I was not.
You guys talk about that for a second. I gotta pee.
And I was not into Saul as a character.
I like Saul.
But I
Saul
was.
cool.
It was more like I didn't care about him for a minute there. I was like, why is he getting his own spin-off?
I liked him a lot as the sleazy lawyer that he is in Breaking Bad. But then to see him
Exactly.
go back and be like, not that yet,
Yeah.
and to kind of progress from being Jimmy to being Saul
Yeah.
was something that I am sure is really good, but it was just
Oh, I'm
hard
sure
to
it's
start over, I
fantastic.
guess. Just starting over right after coming off of a binge.
Because he probably has some parallels to Walt as far as like great.
That was the moment that
great
he
intentions.
truly became Heisenberg.
This is the moment he became the Saul.
this is the moment that Slip and Jimmy truly became Better Call Saul.
Better call Saul Goodman.
Yeah, Better Call Saul Goodman. Did you see they made like a little animated spin-off of Slip and Jimmy?
No.
Of like what he was up to in Philadelphia or whatever before he moves to Albuquerque?
No.
Yeah. Or was he from Philadelphia or Chicago or something like that?
I can't remember.
Anyway,
It's
they made a
city.
little
Yeah.
weird, goofy animated spin-off series that apparently people did not like at all.
Well, it doesn't sound great.
Yeah. Seems like a weird
Oh my god.
weird choice creatively.
I never saw El Camino.
Oh, El Camino was awesome.
I never saw El Camino.
Yeah, highly recommend.
I definitely meant to. I gotta maybe rewatch a little bit of Breaking Bad and then get to that. But I have a lot of backlog as it is, so
Yeah. Well, it's just a movie though, so you can just knock it out. It's not like a show, so.
that's true. Does it have a little bit of recap? I mean, I remember a lot, but not. It was like a while
Right.
ago.
I don't know. I watched it right after finishing Breaking Bad. I jumped right in.
I envy that a little bit.
It's I think if you started watching it, you would know what was going on enough to figure it out.
Excuse me.
I'll give it a shot.
What are you talking about?
And now we're talking about more Breaking Bad stuff.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move
It picks
on.
up- it
now
picks
that
up-
he's back.
All right, I'll stop right after this sentence, but it picks up right as Jesse is driving away at the end of the last episode. It's like right there. That's where it picks up, and then it just goes from there. So, I mean, if you can picture that scene, that's like where it picks up from.
Oh
That's
my
actually great.
God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
You don't know how cool it is.
Wow. My mind exploding right
It
now.
might,
I bet.
it might be better than Attack on Titan.
I doubt it.
They're both good shows. Did you see there was some kind of like an IMDb review bombing war between Attack on Titan and Breaking Bad?
Mm-mm.
Because Breaking Bad was the highest rated show. I don't know if it was Metacritic or IMDb or whatever it was,
Yeah.
but the finale of Breaking Bad was like the highest rated TV episode of all time for a long time.
Yeah.
And then some particular episode of Attack on Titan started to overtake it. So Breaking Bad fans started review bombing Attack on Titan to bring down the score. And I'm like, that's the most petty shit. What are you doing? Like, they just really desperately didn't want it to take the number one spot.
That's lame as hell.
Yeah, super lame. Review bombing as a whole is dumb. Apparently She-Hulk is getting review bombed. It has like an 8 or something critical score, but it has like a 5 audience score because people were review bombing it, and I don't know why. I didn't look into why, but I'm sure it was a dumb reason, whatever it was.
Well, we read that one article.
Ooh.
Yeah. But that would have contributed to the critical score because it was an official outlet.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so like it's like an 8 average or high 7, low 8 something average on the critical score, but the audience score I guess was like a 5. Which,
weird.
Because people
for that episode or for the series
just
already?
For the episode.
Well, because there's only one episode, so series or episode, it's just audiences only have one episode to review, so it doesn't matter. It's kind
which
of
I feel like is kind of it's almost a little unfair
because it's right at the beginning.
You might as well let the show finish and then as a whole because you're not reviewing half of a movie.
Right. Review bombing, I think, typically only occurs when somebody has like a bad motive. Like I've never seen review bombs happen for a good purpose.
No.
So I imagine, I don't know this, I don't know why it's being review bombed, but it has a female main character. I feel like that's reason enough for some people to start review bombing for no reason.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it happen before.
Are boring.
Yeah. Women are cringe. Is that the take?
Yeah.
Women are icky.
Yeah, no, that's awful. I don't know why.
No,
Listen, I don't know why they review bombing. Maybe there's a different reason, but if I had to guess,
it's probably
that's the kind of person who review bombs things.
Yes.
So
it's probably that. Well, and that's a lot of the hate that Marvel gets anyways, is that they add female characters or they
have you seen that MCU thing that people are using?
No.
That's like the Marvel version of Let's Go Brandon or whatever.
My gosh, seriously.
Yeah, people are like, I don't know, anytime there's a female character, like, oh, it's the MCU. Like, shut up, dude.
We've had a bunch of solo movies with just fucking dudes in it for the longest time.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so hard for people to comprehend the fact
exactly.
that half of all people are women. Like, that's literally half of every person.
Yes.
It's not like they're not a minority. It's half of all people.
Yes.
So it's not even like...
And yet, we're on top.
It shouldn't even be like a matter of
did you know
representation. It should just be like how it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to phrase that, but it's weird that anybody cares that women are in things because that's half of everybody is a woman. What are you talking about?
Yes,
it's ridiculous.
So it's women's responsibility to counter that. It's not ours.
What do you mean?
There's half of them. They could work together to
they're trying, but it's because the other half of the dudes are fucking pushing them back down.
I don't know. I feel like
well, that's why that they are trying. That's why we're getting female characters in things.
Yes.
Only because males. That's
probably why Lucifer and John Constantine were gender swapped in Sandman.
No, that was actually more of a owning the characters thing.
I guess that's true, but also he did say he did want to do that, just because I think.
What?
You guys want to talk about Sandman a little bit?
Sure, just a little bit. Isaiah's not finished it, so.
But
you've seen more than half of it, right?
Well, he's also read the comic.
And you've read the comic.
I've read more than what's out.
Yeah.
I think we're fine to talk about it a little bit. You want to scroll down to...
It's right there.
Oh, it's right there. I just didn't write very much. I had all of our notes on Sandman in the last episode. I didn't copy them over.
So there were notes on Sandman for the last episode?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't like take notes as I was watching it, but I just had like things to talk about. Episode 6 notes. Scroll down to Sandman. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just had a couple bullet points of things you could talk about.
Yeah.
All right, Logan's impressions.
Well, we talked about this last week.
Oh, how about your impressions?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it is.
So I guess what even is Sandman? I guess you're going to have to just explain it to me and sell me on it a little bit, because I am interested in watching it, but I don't know if I'm going to commit to it unless you convince me that it's worth my time.
I don't know. I feel like
we both said it's really good.
Yeah. Also, I feel like you've probably wasted more time on dumber shit than Sandman.
Yeah, like Resident Evil.
Like Resident Evil.
So
I didn't watch any more of that.
Classic. Yeah, eat my nuts.
So it wouldn't hurt to give it a shot.
Well, no, okay. Download the episodes to watch them at work.
I phrased that poorly. It's on the list regardless.
He wants us to.
I'm just giving you the opportunity to move it up on the list. That's all I'm saying.
He wants us to sell it to him as if he's not going to watch it.
Okay.
I'm going to watch it regardless one day, but I'm giving you the opportunity to convince
make it tomorrow.
To make it tomorrow, sure. Yeah. I'm giving you the opportunity to move it up my list. Okay. Make me think I need to watch this now.
All right. Well. How would you sell him on this?
You know what? It's actually kind of a tough sell.
I know.
It's kind of a tough sell because it's honestly, and it's probably true for most things, the comics are better than the show.
Yeah.
But the show is pretty true to the comics, which makes it a little infuriating because I feel like pacing is probably the main factor in the difference because it follows so close to the comics. At least this is without rereading the comics. This is from original reading of the comics. Mm-hmm. I feel like I sped through the first bits of that really quick. So like I had a problem kind of being understanding of where I was even at in the comics because I was thinking...
You kind of read through kind of...
Right, I was thinking this happened like... We're way past this. Why is this still being talked to in episode 1? Like,
right.
Come on now. We should already be in hell. Like, what's going on?
You're looking that. Yeah. So the first episode is like probably the slowest part of the whole show.
It is.
Is
but
the first
only because
chunk
it
of the
needs to
comics
be
also
set
the slowest part of the comics, would you say?
Well, I've only read the... Do you mean like the first part as in like the first episode?
Whatever the equivalent of what is covered in the first episode is in the comics.
So we'll put it this way. Let's let him know how much is covered. It's this.
It's this whole book.
This is what's covered in the show. Yeah. It's not a crazy amount. It's like... Where does it say which
it's like
that's the whole season
1 through 16.
Book.
Yeah,
season 1 is also just book 1 of the deluxe.
How many books are there in the deluxe edition?
That's what I was trying to see.
5. Okay, 5. So it's a fifth of the series overall.
Yeah.
So I think 5 seasons.
I think so.
So I have the
way they end the first season. It sets up that they're going to go into.
Is the comic series finished? Like it's not ongoing at all?
It's done. It's been done for a while.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, there was talks of having some random spin-offs. Death was supposed to get a spin-off.
There are spin-offs, like kind of Sandman-esque. It doesn't really have Sandman in it, but they're like spin-offs of characters from the Sandman comic books, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it is set in the DC universe.
Yeah, that was interesting. We're talking about that
scheme of comics.
A couple episodes ago, maybe last episode. It's weird that it's on Netflix instead of HBO Max.
It is weird. I don't know why they did that.
It was a long time ago that they announced Sandman for Netflix.
You think
it's been in the works since before HBO Max was a thing?
Well, maybe not before it was a thing, but before it was as big a thing as it is.
Sure.
And probably before some of those deals. Obviously, we don't know the real...
The whole
ins and outs of the
workings
whole
of that stuff. Right?
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? Maybe Netflix will just drop it like a sack of rocks. I mean,
I can't imagine. It's been doing super well.
I know, but they
have a tendency to cancel shows, though. They like to do that.
They just like to.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like with as much love was put into this and the reaction from people, I think that this will be one that they keep at least for another 2 seasons. I would hope.
I will say I'm pleasantly surprised with how well audiences have taken to it.
Yeah.
I had originally thought people were not going to like it.
It's a weird story because it kind of jumps around a little bit and like it's basically like a big puzzle and tons of things just like intersect throughout the whole story and everything culminates at the very end and it's kind of hard to follow, but the end ties it up pretty well.
All right. Yeah. I read Preludes and Nocturnes a couple years ago, and I did not understand any of it. It went
perfect.
I didn't know what was going on.
Preludes and Nocturnes, is that?
I've got it on the shelf right there. You can pull it off if you see it.
Let's do it. Right here. Preludes and Nocturnes is actually...
That's the first volume.
The first volume.
Yeah.
So I have...
Yeah, that's the first one.
So this includes the second one that's the size of this. So the end of this book right here that you read, if you can see Logan with me, is
here
halfway through
the story, the Netflix show.
Yeah, so this goes up to like episode 5?
Episode 5 or 6.
Okay, so I just am not going to know what the hell's going on.
Well...
Yes and no. There's some narrating, which is a little bit helpful.
I read this a few years ago, so maybe my memory is just not super clear on it. But what I thought of it at the time was that it just seemed very all over the place.
It kind of is, and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of confusing to get into, but by the time you get to the end, it all kind of wraps up nicely and it makes sense.
Okay,
I mean, even further into the fifth one of these size, shit from this matters in that.
Dang,
I don't know that you know that.
I don't know that.
You didn't get that far. But like, I mean, not a ton.
But a little bit, sure.
Yeah, from what I can remember, I read them
for a long time.
I would give it another read. I mean, if you got the first volume, maybe give it a read while you're like at work and you've got some free time one day, because then good.
Watch the show.
Yeah.
Right
okay.
After.
Would you recommend that I read it first?
If you've got it, may as well.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one of them.
Well, because but that gets half the series,
right?
So if by the next podcast you get through that whole book
and the first 5 episodes, then I can just lend you that and you can finish the book if you want, or
if you just leave that here, I'll read it.
Yeah,
sure. You'll read the whole.
Yeah, that's a better way to read it, anyways.
Right, because this is essentially the guide to the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I haven't even finished the show, but I'm.
Have you made it to the restaurant episode yet?
The diner?
Yeah.
Yes.
The diner episode is really good.
It was.
They adapted it much more
in depth. Honestly, a lot more in depth than I thought.
It goes wild.
I was like, oh, that's interesting comparatively. So in comparison, comic to show, comic to show, there's obviously some differences in the language they use and some of the casting. Which
the language they use?
The book, I feel, is a little bit more formal.
Yeah, and a lot more wordy, just to be more wordy.
Yeah.
I think that works in a written format.
Definitely.
Plus, that's just how
Neil Gaiman writes his books.
And how Morpheus talks and sounds.
Yeah, I think that's fine as far as an adaptation. Like, if you look at the Watchmen movie by Zack Snyder compared to the original book, a lot of the dialogue is the same, but it just doesn't sound as good out loud as it does when you're reading it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I would say pacing is a major difference. Other than that, some of the casting people didn't seem to enjoy, which is fine.
What do you mean?
It might have just been one off tangent, probably a comic CBR or whatever.
Oh, you didn't have an issue. I thought you were saying you had.
Oh no, I didn't care.
Some people.
No, I made a joke about death. For just privately to you because it was funny, but I don't actually care that doesn't affect the story at all.
And I think Death was cast really well in this. Have you gotten to any Death stuff?
I didn't get to Death yet.
Damn, I think she was cast really well. Same with what's her name playing Joanna Constantine.
I
thought
Constantine, is that how you
pronounce it? That's how it's pronounced in the show. Yeah,
I don't like that.
I don't know. She's British.
It's John Constantine in the book.
In the book, it's John Constantine,
and it's the John Constantine.
Yeah, I like Constantine.
His bit in it is pretty cool because it's very much like, oh, that's him. Like, he shows up and you're like, okay, that would
have been cool if they could have gotten Matt Ryan to be Constantine in the show.
Would have been cool.
But I don't have a problem with Joanna Constantine. That's Constantine. I don't like that.
But I like the actress that plays her as well. She's really good. So.
She's Doctor Who.
And she's from Doctor Who.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I would like to tell you to watch Doctor Who, get into it, but don't.
No.
I've seen some. I watched the Christopher Eccleston stuff. And
that's the worst stuff. That is the worst stuff.
Is it really? I like it.
Well, maybe if you like it, you'll like the rest of it.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Have you seen any, like, the old-ass stuff, like, from the 60s?
No. I'm talking about... No, sorry. I mean, like, from the newer stuff, like Christopher Eccleston on, because I haven't watched any of the old stuff, because it's fucking hard to get a hold of.
Right. I liked the
sweater guy? The scarf guy.
He's everyone's
Doctor, or the Fifth Doctor, I think.
Yeah, he's everyone's favorite aside from David Tennant.
David Tennant is,
but David Tennant is he would probably be the reason I would say to watch it.
I like David Tennant. I stopped watching partway through his run though. Like that's where I fell off was during his. Even though I liked him, I just feel like I think I have trouble with the momentum change from when the Doctor changes forms of like. I don't know, it just hits me in a weird way of like, this is a different character now, but it's also the same character. With other stories where the protagonist changes, everything else changes too. Right. So it's like, okay, I'm reading a new story. But this is like, it's the same story, all the side characters are the same, but the main character is just a different actor with a different personality. And for whatever reason, that change in momentum really throws me off every time it happens. Well, I've seen it happen one time, but it was really just like, it's just weird. It's like if you were watching a movie and halfway through the movie the main character was played by a different actor. It's just like, it's not bad because I know that's how it is, but it's just, as someone who isn't used to it, it's a weird thing to get used to, and it kind of made me feel a little bit like put off by it.
So that would throw you out of it if suddenly the main character was to be changed?
Not necessarily. If it was a different person, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. Like if the doctor died and somebody else took up the mantle of the doctor, I feel like for whatever reason in my brain that would feel more natural to me than just I'm the same guy but I'm a different guy.
It's pretty much what's happening. He is still the doctor, but like everything about him has changed.
Yeah. I know. I'm not saying it's inherently bad in any way. It's just weird. Something about my little goblin brain doesn't click with it the way that it should. I don't know. There's something about it that just throws me off.
I don't know.
I couldn't tell you specifically why I have that feeling, but it just is. It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
I will say,
but David
Tennant is the best. Matt Smith is an absolutely great follow-up to David Tennant. And then Peter Capaldi, I didn't watch all of his stuff.
I didn't.
He was all right.
I didn't.
Did you watch any of the Jodie Foster?
I haven't watched any of the Jodie Foster. I fell off hard.
I did watch the first couple episodes of Jodie Foster.
How was she?
She's great.
Yeah.
She's fine.
I like her.
She's really cool. I just was like, I was already not into it though because they were supposed to be done.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to be done.
They ruined their own canon. And
so there's a thing where he can only regenerate 12 times, 11 times.
Why did they come up with that limit for themselves?
Well, that was just the thing back in the day. But then they were going through guys kind of fast towards the end.
It just seems weird to start off with
we
that
don't want to kill it
already
off.
Imposed on yourself. Of like
well, they worked around it because they've got more than just 11 reincarnations.
Yeah, they freaking destroyed their own canon.
Yeah.
Which that in general just kind of made me like, ugh.
It just seems weird to me to introduce that rule to yourself in the first place. That would be like if in JoJo they're like, there can only be 9 Jo stars and that's it right from the beginning. And then it's like, well, what happens if we go past that? Why would you even make that limit?
That's almost exactly how it felt to me. I was like, why did you have that as a rule?
They probably didn't think they would go that long.
Maybe.
But then it fucking blew the hell up. So
right. Yeah. But also that feels like the rule only matters to have if you think you're going to have a lot of doctors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because 11 is a lot.
Like it seems like it would only ever be like,
I don't know.
I just don't know what the relevancy of
those.
I haven't seen the show outside of
those
one arc in one season.
Those Whovians are a weird audience.
It's the British, bro. It's the British.
They will never stop.
Mentally, my fan base. Mentally, in my head, I group the Doctor Who fan base in with the Harry Potter fan base. It's a very similar vibe.
No, bad idea. You piss off a lot of people.
They're very similar.
Well, I don't know. They're both into British things.
Yeah.
No, it is. They
are very similar.
Yeah. That's it's weird. Anyway, I think we were running up on about where we'd like to end things here, time-wise.
Let's just say, Greg, Sandman's good. Definitely should watch and read.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I'll come back for more Sandman.
Hell yeah. Once you finish it?
Yeah, I'll come back.
Hell yeah.
You read a little bit of Berserk, too.
Let's talk about that
just real quick.
Just a quick second.
So tell us where you're at. What's going on with Berserk right now? This is going to be just full-on spoilers for Berserk. Stop watching now if you haven't read it.
And definitely do stop because you absolutely need to read this shit.
Yeah, it's very good. So this is the end of the episode for all you people who haven't read Berserk, but for everybody else that wants to hear us talk about it, we're going to talk about it. Just a little
all of your fan.
Yeah.
So we got 24 subscribers now. We got another one. So shout out to whoever you are that subscribed.
Rock on, baby.
I kind of wish they would comment. Just say anything.
Say anything. Yeah. If you subscribe to the channel and you're watching this episode and you don't know us in real life, if you know us in real life, we don't care. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But
no, I want to know. I want to know.
But if you don't know us and you're just a random person that subscribes to the channel, say something. Well, we'd love to interact with you.
Comment nuts if you see this part. Just nuts.
Yeah, just put nuts in the. Actually, anybody watching, put nuts in the comments. Just put nuts
because it would be funny.
Fill up the comment section with nuts.
We'll put one of those heart things on every single nuts we see.
Every single nut we see, we will like it.
You're gonna get nothing. You're getting nothing.
Maybe. You never know.
You never know, dude.
I will be shocked, but very glad.
You have to have watched
an hour
and a half all the way
20
in,
minutes.
and also care enough to comment. So that's going to really narrow people down. But we'll see. All right, back to Berserk.
Berserk, tell us what you got on.
Yeah, what's going on there?
So I am kind of in the middle of reading book 3 of the Deluxe, which is about where we were saying the 8th or the 9th.
I think that's 7, 8, 9.
1, 2. Yep, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. So, but I'm definitely past the 7th because it's towards the end of the bigger
So we're
book.
probably on book 8.
Yeah. If you can find it, bonus points. But Griffith has just banged a princess.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. What did you think about Guts leaving the Band of the Hawk in that whole showdown there?
That was cool. I was a little bit put off by. Well, I guess not put off. I was a little worried for. What are you showing him?
Just the fucking
spread, the
best spread.
Nice.
That one.
Yes. So that I was I wasn't put off by it, but I was a little bit annoyed that it was even happening.
Well,
That
in
he
what
left?
sense?
No, that Griffith was I've been a duel a long time.
Classic.
I was like,
doesn't want to leave.
Griffith
I
is
got it.
very possessive.
Yeah.
This is
Going
his
back
best
to
guy.
that, I was like, yes, that makes sense.
And that's why he bangs the princess too, is because he's feeling so emotionally raw and vulnerable at having lost not probably the closest thing he has to a best friend, but also his most valuable soldier simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I did like that he left, though. I felt like that was a very necessary thing for him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I also didn't really have a problem with it.
Sets up some absolutely nutso stuff, too.
What do you think of the
I
Band of the
knew-
Hawk as a whole?
The Band of the Hawk as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
they're a cool band. I feel like they're not going to do as well without Guts, obviously. I feel like Griffith's going to go off the deep end and kind of screw everybody over at some point. Obviously, if I've read up to this point, I know that some other shit ends up happening between now and then, that
Most
Guts is on his own, he's older, bigger sword, things like a slap.
That's
Too big to be called a sword.
And Griffith is kind of a demon thing.
Because of the Black Swordsman arc.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting thing that he did, where he's on one hand, it kind of spoils it,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, it's that makes you want to keep reading of
Yeah.
okay, how the hell do we get from where we're at in the Golden Age to whatever is going on? in
Because
Black
he's a
Swordsman?
cool character, and you want to be
Griffith
like,
is?
yeah, you want to be like, he's really.
I love
But
him in the first section in the Golden Age arc. Yeah.
But I also am very much able to tell that that's what they're leading into, is that he's not actually that great.
Yeah.
And
Well, you'll just have to keep reading and find out.
yeah, I mean,
What do you think of the dynamic between Guts and Griffith and Casca, and kind of that weird triangle situation that they've got going on there?
well, Casca's into him almost in a worshipping manner.
Right.
Yeah.
She just really loves him.
Every
other
everybody
way.
in the Band of the Hawk.
Everybody does, and that's kind of what's great about him as well, is everybody feels that he brings them up in whatever way.
Yeah.
You know, following their dreams, helping them achieve whatever level of wealth or whatever they want. But
Right.
he's a leader, and he's a really good one, and everybody wants to follow him to the death.
Right. Well, he's
That's
he's
great.
the big blazing bonfire that everybody comes and throws their little flame into.
Yeah, exactly. As Guts,
That's a
as
great
Guts
scene,
said.
Yeah.
And Casca's like, yeah, I'm really into him. I worship him. And Guts is like, yeah, I'm going to follow him for a while.
Well, I think that speech that he gives to the princess in front of the fountain that Guts overhears about his true friend would be someone who isn't subservient to him. It would be somebody who he could think of as
As his
an equal.
equal.
And I think that really got to Guts mentally of I really am not. I don't have anything for myself, and that's what he wants to leave for. He wants to figure out.
Yeah, I want
His own
to
deal.
be his
Right.
equal.
Right.
He wants to really prove that because he thinks so highly of him.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. It also seems almost out of character for him from the Black Swordsman arc.
Well, yeah, he
Yes
is a
and
different
no.
character
'Cause
from the Black
basically,
Swordsman.
right.
Yeah, so I was
He
like,
goes through a lot of shit.
that's interesting that he'll be going through even more then.
Yeah, because you see a lot of his progression from when he's a child all the way up to joining the Band of the Hawk and all that stuff. But then you know that there's almost a regression of character when you get to Black Swordsman, because it's
He's
all of
so
the
mean and angry.
yeah, it's just all of his development up to this point. It's okay, what happens to that though? Because
The
this is
general-
not where he's not going that way right
Yeah.
now.
The general vibe of the entire series, I'm feeling, is just everything fucking sucks. Everybody gets raped or killed or both. And everything's dark, and Guts is kind of, you look up to him as sort of almost an anti-hero, because he's probably going to do some stupid, messed up shit anyways, but also he's, in the end, a good guy. He's sort of a good guy, but also he kind of makes some...
I'd be
pretty
interested
fucked
to
up
hear
mistakes.
once you're much further into the series what you think of that theme
Yeah.
at that point, because I think, not to spoil anything, but it does have a more hopeful
Most definitely. You are
message and theme to it.
You're in a very depressing part of the story right now.
Well, and I just feel like eventually it's just going to get worse and worse until we get to caught up to where the Black Swordsman arc is. And then even then, I think it might get a little bit worse for a little bit again.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in total, this is probably the worst of it, just from what I'm reading right now.
Yeah.
At least I hope so, because I don't want it to just get even worse after that, because then it's kind of like, what do I bother even reading about other characters for if they're just going to get fucked?
Yeah, so
I don't want to say anything to spoil
it. Definitely, it does get worse before it gets better, but I think Guts as a character is really more about...
I don't know, you spoiled just that one scene of him on the back of Zod, which it was a little fucked up to me, because it's like, dude, I don't know what's going on there, but I really would have liked to see that myself.
Damn.
Because I was really hoping for the rematch of the century there. And maybe I still get that, but either way, it's cool. It is cool.
I will say that picture that I sent is not even like... It's like a low... It's a pretty sick pic, but there's some pretty badass stuff that goes on in that scene.
I'm sure. Very sure.
All the stuff that I'm reading right now is fucking nuts.
Where are you at? You're at the end?
He's at 37.
I'm on 37.
I just lent him that. That's why I'm missing a couple volumes there. He's on 37.
40.
Dang. And then it's going to come back?
What do you mean?
So this is like the end of Kentaro Moira's...
Mira,
yeah. It's up to...
Volume 41 will be the last one that he made. And then everything after that is going to be the new team.
Yeah.
Okay, and who's on the new team?
It is his studio, that like all of his assistants that worked for him drawing Berserk. And then they're kind of the head of the studio now, kind of, that's leading up the project, is a mangaka called Koji Mori. He made like Holy Land and a couple of other series that are pretty successful. And he was just like a lifetime best friend of Miura, and Miura told him everything about how the story's going to go, and he even helped him, with some of the stuff during the like figuring out during a pretty pivotal scene that happens later on.
So there will be like an official end at some point.
Yes, that is the plan with this continuation, is to continue the story up to where Miura had originally planned to end it.
Does it have an end currently at the 41?
At the end of 41, it does have... it's an ending. It is certainly not what the ending would have been had Miura, continued to write, but it ended at a spot where it's like, okay, it could end right here, and it would be not satisfying, but like...
Wouldn't be awful.
It wouldn't have been awful.
It wouldn't be Game of Thrones Season 8.
No. So it could have ended right at the end of where Volume 41 will end, and that would have been... I mean, that's where we thought it was going to end for a long time before they announced the continuation.
Yeah.
And it could have ended there, and it would have been kind of like just a bittersweet kind of cliffhanger, but also enough resolution that it feels like it could have been the ending if it needed to be, but not. It wouldn't have been ideal.
Yeah.
But the continuation is just moving on with what the original story plan was, and it's being done, headed up by Koji Mori, who again knows what's going on and had talked to Miura before he passed about all this stuff. So
that's really cool. We're golden. We're golden.
Yeah. So it should be as close as. It's already started. We're probably 5 or 6 chapters into the new run,
and I think it's bi-monthly.
And how?
No, it's.
Do we know how much further?
It is once a month. That's. I looked into that. Yeah.
So do we know how much further it is going to go?
There will be 1 or 2 more chapters in the current arc, and that'll be at the end of the arc, and then they will continue on past that. We don't know how long. People are speculating we might be going into the final arc, but it could be longer than that. We don't know.
Gotcha.
Dang. Okay. Because at some point, all good things should come to an end at a good spot.
Yes. Well, I think that's the idea. Is they're going to end it where it was originally planned to have been end.
Cool.
And not try to squeeze more shit out of it.
No, the mentality. I read an interview with Koji Mori, and what he said was his mentality is just literally only adapt the things that Miura told him about and nothing else. So he's not going to add in any filler, any of his own ideas. Just only what he talked about and what he said, and that's it.
That's a really nice thing to do.
We're only getting the original plan, and
I love that.
He's not editing anything else, and if he doesn't remember anything super clearly, then he's just not even going to try to put it in. It's just going to be only what he knows for sure Miura would have done.
I'm going to read all of it just for that. That's a great sentiment.
Yeah, it's super good.
I think you should read it.
I respect the hell out of that.
Whatever.
No, there's no other reason.
It's the only reason I'm going to read it.
No, because the rest of it's just boring. It's all black and white.
Yeah, how do you read this without colors?
Oh, I took the liberty of coloring in those copies.
Oh, dude, thank you. That's so nice
It's like
of you.
a Berserk color.
That would be awful, but also if it was well done enough.
Nah, dude, I would be fucking livid.
I would immediately replace it.
I don't know, maybe buy an extra copy and then get somebody who's really good at coloring to color it in for you. Then you have your original, and then you got a color version.
I want a color
Kind of sick.
I want a color copy.
A color copy would be badass.
I don't know. I kind of like that it's in black and white. I think Mirror's art really just like lives and breathes in the black and white.
It is cool, and it makes you feel more like it's less of a comic and more of a manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, do be like that. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. We'll be back next week with more.
Hell yeah. Three-way high five.
Yeah.
That's terrible.